ABC 6 News at 10 starts right now with weather first.
Good evening. Arctic air in place all across the region. We're not alone in the cold. It's 0 in Rochester, and we have temperatures just as cold all across the Midwest. It's starting to get a little milder well out to the west of us right now. Temperatures are feeling a little colder. You work in the wind, and it's feeling like 21 degrees below in Rochester. Wind chill advisory continues into tomorrow morning. Comes to an end soon. We're talking about a warm up, but also some additional snow. More coming up.
Right now on ABC 6 News, for some in our area, dialing a local line could look a little bit differently by the end of the month. Tonight, what you need to know about a new area code coming to the 507 region.
Plus, a rescue mission ending right here in the Med City.
I need help, and they rose to the occasion.
How Minnesota State Troopers stepped up and jumped into action to deliver the gift of life.
And later,
the presumptive sentence for Mr. Bowman is life in prison without relief.
he was once a promising Mayo Clinic doctor, and now he's a murder suspect. The decision a judge made today as Connor Bowman appeared on his new first-degree murder charge.
Good evening, and thank you for choosing ABC 6 News tonight. I'm Maisie Olson.
And I'm Robin Wolfram. Well, there are over 200 days until the Moore County Fair. And one way the county is making sure to be ready is by amping up security. This means adding a fence to the fairgrounds, but some neighbors, they're not too happy about that.
ABC 6 News reporter Jordan Sansom joins us live earlier where a meeting was held to discuss this fence. Jordan.
Robin and Maisie, tonight was an opportunity for these frustrated neighbors to air their concerns and get answers from the county about how this plan can benefit everyone. Whether it's the popping or just coming together with the community, the Moore County Fairground holds memories for most, if not everyone in the community. But this year, this notorious week will be looking a little different. The county wants to fence in the northwest part of the fairgrounds, but those that share their backyards with the grounds have some concerns.
I play out there a lot. I've been playing out here for the past week, every day.
The goal with the fence is to be able to better secure the fairgrounds for emergencies like a missing child or potential crime, and it wouldn't just be for when the fair comes into town.
There are events here every single weekend from March through September. Yeah. So we could need to secure it 9 to 10 months of the year.
One of the biggest questions is if people would be able to access the fairgrounds from their backyards like they're used to.
When I found out they were going to be putting up an additional fence around the fairgrounds, I was concerned that we wouldn't have as easy of access as we had been having.
That sparked a new idea. Each resident could have a gate, making easier access to the fairgrounds while also keeping it secure. Many saw it as a good compromise.
It'd be sad if I had to walk a block over to get into the fairgrounds instead of just going in my backyard, opening the gate and going in there.
But the future of these backyards and fair security has no concrete plan in sight. The county plans to hold another meeting like this to share the finalized design of the fence, and they hope to have it up by next month. Live in Austin, Jordan Sansom, ABC 6 News.
So much tonight, Jordan. Also tonight, the former Mayo Clinic doctor turned accused killer made his way back to court earlier today, appearing for the first time on his new charge of first-degree murder.
That's right. Earlier this month, a grand jury returned that upgraded charge for this man, 30-year-old Connor Bowman. This after they reviewed the prosecution's evidence and agreed Betty Bowman's death was the result of a premeditated plot. And just today, the state argued that because of Bowman's charges, them being upgraded, his bail should also be doubled.
The two reasons we asked for bail are public safety and risk of flight. And his risk of flight, in our mind, just went up exponentially because the presumptive sentence is that he goes to prison for the rest of his life and never come out.
But the judge denied that request, ultimately leaving his bail at $5 million without conditions. Bowman's next court date has yet to be scheduled.
And now to New York, where Donald Trump arrived in court earlier today as a now-seated jury works to determine how much he will be ending up paying E. Jean Carroll in her defamation lawsuit. A different jury already decided that Trump is liable for sexually assaulting Carroll in the dressing room of a Manhattan department store back in the 90s. They also found that he had defamed her in a 2022 social media post by calling her allegations a hoax and a lie, saying, "This woman is not my type." Trump has denied all wrongdoing. And Trump's arrival in court comes just hours after a big win in the Iowa caucuses.
Trump walked away the overwhelming favorite, while Ron DeSantis narrowly topped Nikki Haley in the tight race for runner-up. The race for delegates now enters its first stage, with Trump securing 20, while DeSantis and Haley took away 8 and 7 respectively, which is still far off from the more than 1,000 needed to become the nominee.
But last night didn't end without a bit of pushback, in particular for media sources that called the race for Trump about 30 minutes after voting even began. The Iowa GOP calling it highly disappointing and concerning. And though they're not alone with their concern, the Associated Press stands by the call, while others say it likely had no impact on the outcome.
Respect the voters enough to let them all finish their business. And then if you want to make a call, go ahead and make a call. But does it impact the result? I don't think this impacted the result at all.
And beyond winners and losers, the result of Iowa Caucus last night shook up the race in big ways, with both Vivek Ramaswamy and Asa Hutchinson dropping both out of the race. Now all eyes shift to New Hampshire, where Haley is polling far better ahead of next Tuesday's primary vote.
Also tonight, Senator Chuck Grassley was hospitalized today as doctors worked to treat an infection. The specific treatment he's being treated with is typically used to fight serious infections or ones that can't be treated with standard antibiotics. But the Iowa Republican, who is the longest serving senator at 90 years old, says he is recovering well and will return to work as soon as possible. And as the fight for the White House continues, senators in the nation's capital holding a procedural vote to prevent a partial government shutdown. The short-term spending bill would extend government funding and operations through the first week of March. Those funds are set to expire this Friday. Right now, Washington, D.C. is getting blasted by a snowstorm, making it difficult for senators to get to the Capitol for the vote. And from the Minnesota Capitol today, Governor Tim Walz announced the details of his nearly $1 billion infrastructure plan today. But for local government requests in southeast Minnesota, there's some bad news.
Yeah, not good news at all. Of the more than 20 projects that requested state funding from our area, none have been approved. Those include Albert Lee's wastewater treatment facility, Byron's request for building new interchanges on Highway 14, and Olmsted County's request to upgrade Graham Park. Now, for some projects, the governor did suggest alternative ways to get funding, like state grants or even loans. And for now, this is just a plan, as lawmakers still have the final say. Turning now to the bitter cold settling in all across our area. It's no secret temperatures can impact much of our daily lives, but for first responders battling fires, it may make their job even more difficult. Just today, RFD responded to 2 separate calls, both within their own challenges. Now, one of those fires broke out inside a crawl space at the Andover Park Apartments. And although the flames were quickly knocked down, firefighters' main tool, the water that pushes crews to that extra precaution needed.
We found some active fire in a crawl space. That fire had an opportunity to slowly work its way up through some of the void spaces, so it took us a little bit longer time to track it down and make sure that everything was fully extinguished.
No one was hurt in either of the fires, but the extent of the damage caused by the crawl space fire has impacted several units. Well, be sure to stay with us tonight. There's a change actually coming to how you dial another Rochester number, and how 3 little digits will have a huge impact when making local calls.
Plus, when you see flashing lights on a squad car, it usually spells trouble. But in a story we're about to share, those flashing lights saved a life, and in a very unexpected way. We'll explain when.
Join the conversation. Go to our ABC6 Facebook page, facebook.com/KAALTV.
Thanks for staying with us. A Fargo man is thanking Mayo Clinic and the State Patrol for making his heart transplant a reality.
Yeah, that's right. John Neuenschwander has gone through 40 years of treatment to keep his heart ticking. And in October, he was added to the transplant list while at Mayo Clinic. And soon after, a donor heart was made available. The only issue, it was in the Twin Cities. That's when the Minnesota State Patrol came to the rescue.
I had no idea that it was that precarious. And my surgeon actually had to make the call to the troopers. And he said, "This is not going well here, and the heart is delayed. I need help." And they rose to the occasion.
And he looks so good. We certainly wish John continued success in his recovery process.
A new area code is coming January 30th, and it could change the way you make phone calls. The new 924 area code was announced last April, but it goes into effect in southeastern Minnesota at the end of the month. Once that happens, when anyone with a 507 area code makes a call, they'll be required to dial not just the phone number, but that new area code as well. But for those with a 507 code right now, you won't have to change your number, as the change only affects new numbers. Still ahead, it's a zoo. Literally, when we return, we're taking you on a trip to both Zolman and Como to see what's new.
And we're still above zero looking at tomorrow afternoon's high, but still very cold. Arctic air lingers. Overnight lows in the single digits below zero, and a touch of snow on Thursday. I'll have your forecast.
And as a result of this deep freeze, area outdoor enthusiasts aren't wasting any time hitting the ice.
Be a part of the ABC6 News team. If you see news happening, call our newsroom at 507-258-7261 or email us at news@kaltv.com.
Welcome back. Well, it is the day some have been waiting for several months now of delays, and many ice skaters are sharpening their skates as outdoor rinks across our area are starting to open up.
That's right, and one of those rinks is in Zumbrota. After the fire department helped flood it this past weekend, it's finally open for use. The ice rink provides an opportunity for both kids and adults to get together and join in on the fun, with several kids playing hockey any chance they can get. The community not only enjoys the ice, but also helps to make sure that it's maintained.
Everybody kind of pitches in. If it snows, parents will help shovel it off as well, so the firemen can get down there and flood it. So it's a community activity, and we just love the ice around here.
The city hopes to continue growing the ice rink in the future with permanent boards and possibly a fire pit.
And although the cold weather and these cold temperatures have been good for ice skaters, it's putting a strain on our energy grids. Now, there are 3 energy cooperatives that are issuing a peak energy alert starting tomorrow at 7 a.m. Customers enrolled in the dual fuel energy management program will be affected, with that alert expiring at 11 tomorrow morning. Now, if you are looking for ways to cut down on your power use, there are a couple of things, simple things that you can do, like waiting to run the dishwasher or laundry machine, or using a microwave rather than the oven. Some good tips if you're really trying to conserve energy, which is always a good thing.
Always
right?
a good thing.
Yeah.
It's so nice to see that the outdoor rinks are back.
Isn't that great?
The outdoor rink was my daycare provider when I was a kid.
Yeah, because you're a hockey guy.
Yeah, I grew up in Litchfield. We'd just walk right out to the outdoor rink right after school, and it was always a bummer when they were slushy and it was warm.
Yeah,
so
wet.
good news. And I also saw EOTA got theirs started up today too. Here's a wind chill advisory that we have in effect until tomorrow morning, and then it expires. Wind chills around 20 to 25 degrees below zero at times tonight. That's the range that some of us are in right now, from Mason City to Rochester and Preston. Elsewhere, maybe not as breezy, but Austin and Albert Lea, cold enough with a wind chill of 14 degrees below zero. They're going to stay sub-zero through the day tomorrow, but at least in the single digits tomorrow. By the late afternoon to evening, the wind's going to be calming down a little bit. Getting into Thursday, that's when we have a clipper coming our way. And still feeling cold, sub-zero wind chills. Actual temperatures at least getting into the single digits to low teens above zero. Nice quiet night, and here's what we're looking at. A cold wind chill tonight. Arctic air, that's going to stick around through Saturday, but at least it's starting to moderate a little bit, and we're not staying below zero all day long. And Thursday, a weak clipper comes through. It'll be some fluffy snow. It'll be maybe just enough to shovel getting into the afternoon, but amounts will be minor. Temperature right now, we've got goose eggs in Preston, Rochester, and Owatonna, along with Charles City, and we're still above zero in Mason City at 2 degrees. Still have some clear sky right now across the region. Thin clouds just off to our north right now. Not much happening locally, but out on the west coast now, turning active in a hurry. We've got a couple of big storms, one just making its way onto the Oregon coast, and another clipper shaping up out of southwestern Canada, and that'll be rolling our direction. So they're looking at least some snow for the ski slopes finally out there. We've got outdoor ice. they've got snow falling down. This is also good snowmaking weather for the ski slopes locally, even if we don't have the snow falling. Actual temperatures tonight down to around 3 degrees below zero, and a high tomorrow making its way just nudging 10 in the afternoon. Not quite getting there for many of us. Here's your hometown forecast for Blooming Prairie. More cloud cover than clear sky tomorrow, but there will be some sunshine. And while we are looking at an extended stretch of cold lasting through Saturday, above normal temperatures becoming likely to wrap up the month of January. Nothing to get too excited about on the future clouds outlook here. Looking into tomorrow, some thin clouds coming in, thickening up by the afternoon to evening. And on Thursday, we've got some snow that'll start to move in, not really until later in the day, very light snow. It does not take much moisture in the atmosphere, however, to get around a ½ inch to an inch of snow, considering our temperatures are very cold. Lows tonight around 3 below zero, wind chills around 20 below. We're looking at a little extra cloud cover late tonight, high of 8 tomorrow, a lot of cloud cover later in the day, and just a touch of a breeze. But temperatures hitting 12 in Mason City and 10 in Austin and Albert Lea. A fast-moving clipper on Thursday. That'll make for just a little shovelable snow. Some sunshine this weekend, going from a high of 5 on Saturday to the upper teens on Sunday, and 30s return next week, which I'm hopeful will not ruin the outdoor ice. They certainly won't on the lakes for the anglers, but it's going to be warmer.
Are you Yeah,
clipper. I just feel like you get a pep in your step when there's a clipper on the radar.
I love them. Absolutely love them. We get some quick
so
snow.
excited.
It's not too dramatic, but we get to see the snow globe.
Is there anything else besides calling it a clipper? Is there anything else, or is it just really a clipper?
It's a clipper.
I thought you were throwing that in to
It's
give
an Alberta clipper.
for a little gift to Macy.
I didn't make it up.
All right, thank you, Randy. And with all of this cold weather, you might be wondering how the animals at the Zolman Zoo are staying warm.
I know I have been, but thankfully, officials at Zolman tell us that they don't have to make too many changes to keep those animals very comfortable. When the temperature drops, zookeepers will give extra bedding to the animals. They'll also offer extra food to make sure they have enough calories to brave the cold. Plus, all the animals at Oxbow are native to Minnesota, so they're used to the weather.
So longer stretches of cold weather can definitely be a concern. So usually at the end of summer into fall, we start kind of preparing for it. So we might increase animal diets a little bit there to make sure that they have a nice good fat layer for the winter time. So we kind of start our preparation really early and try to make it really natural. So just like in the wild, they would eat more to get ready for winter. We try to replicate that.
Staff say that since it's really cold, some of the animals are more active in the afternoon. They say your best chance to see all of the residents of the zoo is to come during feeding time in the morning. And at the Como Zoo in St. Paul, staff are celebrating the birth of its first Nyala calf. It's a spiral-horned antelope native to southern Africa. That's so cute. Take a look. This is the yet-to-be-named female calf born on January 6th. She weighed 8 pounds and was standing within about half an hour. Her parents arrived at Como Zoo last year as part of a joint effort by thousands of zoo professionals worldwide to protect endangered species.
I mean, how precious.
That's so precious.
Oh my God, 8 pounds. So
She's
little,
standing
too.
within half an hour, too. Well, heading now to Austin, where earlier today, residents at an assisted living facility got quite the surprise.
Yeah, these are all the feel-good stories now. Austin Bruins players came to visit the St. Mark's Senior Living Home to get involved in a handful of activities there, like bowling, cornhole, and balloon volleyball. All of this building further excitement for the Paint the Town Pink game the Bruins will be playing on February 3rd. They've got a whole bunch of new fans there, I'm certain of that. Also tonight, it is a big day for America's favorite pastime, as here in Minnesota, it will soon have its very own day set aside for it. Baseball Day Minnesota will host its first one-day extravaganza on May 11th, thanks to a partnership between Prep Baseball Minnesota and the Minnesota Twins Community Fund. The event will be highlighting youth ball players of all ages at Veterans Field in Minnetonka to showcase their skills and their appreciation for the sport.
Goal is to, make it unique. Obviously, it's an event that's not hopefully going to be like your typical high school baseball game. There's some details that we'll release at a later date or leading up to it that, will make it unique to the day, and some things that we've had discussions with the Twins, and they've been super helpful and super awesome to work with.
And to find out more about Baseball Day events and how to become a sponsor, you can visit our website at KAALTV.com.
And we have the sportsman right here with us in the studio, ABC6 Sports Director Jose Solis. There's a lot on the agenda. Hoops, hockey, what more could you ask for?
Indeed, Maisie, indeed. A big test for Joviota girls basketball playing the big bad Goodhue Wildcats, plus a big night showdown.
Be a part of the ABC6 News team. If you see news happening, call our newsroom at 507-258-7261 or email us at news@kaltv.com.
And here's a look at your forecast. Single-digit highs continue all week long into the weekend. We've got a little reinforcement of Arctic air Friday into Saturday. Following that, what, Maisie?
A quick clipper.
That Alberta clipper sliding through Thursday. It's going to bring us a quick dose of fluffy snow Thursday, and then back to the 30s next week, which it's going to be warmer, but not warm enough, I don't think, to really hurt the outdoor rinks, which I'm concerned about.
Yeah.
We finally got them.
Yeah, finally, it's right.
We can enjoy that quick clipper, though.
That's right.
Well, we have one more sweet story before we go tonight, and this time it's based in the Casson Gymnasium.
Over the weekend, a basketball game featuring Cotter and Hayfield girls teams had a slight issue with the sound system, but they found a solution.
Basketball players, coaches, and fans jumped right into action and started spontaneously singing the national anthem, Way to Go.
And now we want to have Jose sing a little bit for us tonight.
Sing us out.
Oh, Canada. Gotcha.
He's wrong in every way.